And joining us right now is the head coach of that UMD football program, Kurt Weezy. Coach, another close game here at Molosky Stadium, but another one in which your guys found a way to win. We've been using the term gutty win since Saturday afternoon, and you had to be happy coming away with a victory against St. Cloud State.
Yeah, I'm happy with our victory. You know, certainly a game that we thought potentially heading midway through the third quarter there, we had a chance to close it out. And, you know, you got to tip your hat to St. Cloud State. They did a good job getting themselves back in that football game. You face a rival like St. Cloud, it's going to be a hard-fought game to the end, and, you know, that's exactly what it ended up being.
Nate Meyer, Jamison Parsons, the quarterback wide receiver duo. You throw in there Grant Thayer, who's as big a tight end as you're going to see probably in the NSIC. How tough was that passing attack to deal with for your guys?
Yeah, all guys we're familiar with. You know, Nate Meyer's a quarterback out of Ricori that we recruited and ended up at South Dakota State. Jamison Parsons, actually, Drew Bauer backed him up in high school, so those two are pretty familiar with one another. Grant Thayer, another one. So, you know, just as you know, as a passing attack, they've come a long ways in a year and a half. You know, they had a new staff last year, new quarterback, and, you know, that has changed at St. Cloud. They did a good job.
Now, that said, at the end of the game, for the second straight time here at Molosky Stadium, your defense had an opportunity to get a stop and win a football game for your team, and they were able to do that. Meyer looked for Jamison Parsons on this fourth down play, and it was a freshman, Sam Lynch, who came up with probably one of the biggest plays of the game.
Yeah, you know, and big play for Sam. I mean, Sam really, just 2 weeks ago against Morehead State, we ended up in a nickel package, and Sam is our nickel defensive back now, played a lot and played a tremendous game at Morehead State. Heading into St. Cloud State, he earned that starting role and did a phenomenal job. You know, happy to see him come up as a freshman. Sam was a walk-on for us, you know, and a guy that just grounded out, kept his you know, his nose to the grindstone, so to speak, and worked hard to get in the position he's in.
Now, one other thing we noticed throughout this game was the play of your offensive line. It's been a unit that's been pretty banged up and, you know, had to move people around in some spots. But throughout this game, you're going to see it here, as this is a designed run for Drew Bauer. There's a lot of space to run against a St. Cloud State team.
Yeah, and that was the design of this formation. Drew's the only one in the backfield. You know, it's presents 5 wide receivers or 2 tight ends, 5 threats vertical, to be able to split everybody out and put our offensive line in a position where we got to block 5 guys in the box. And actually, this was, you know, Coach Larson made a good adjustment at halftime out of this formation. We came back to this in the second half, and, you know, this is a big run for us. I believe it was a second down play for us. Got us, you know, in another, you know, off to a good drive here. And again, you know, when you have the ball in Drew Bauer's hands, it's safe, he's explosive, and he's running behind a good offensive line.
One thing we noticed is that the offensive linemen, none of them are on the ground. They're all pushing forward and doing so as a unit. How good was that to see for those guys who, like I say, have been kind of embattled this year, and they had, I think, one of their kind of cleanest games throughout the course of that game.
Yeah, you know, our offensive line, you look at just our starting lineup and really whether or not we've had all 5 of these same guys on the field throughout a game right now. We've had maybe 8, 9, 10 different lineups on the field at one time, so including this game where we ended up, you know, using John Benarchek, Willie Westerman at tackle. So it's a good unit. You know, certainly as an offensive line, you want these guys to continue to gel, and they did that a little bit against St. Cloud State.
They're going to have to continue to do it against Mary. It's a winless Marauders squad, but you're 4-2 right now. You want to try and get to that 9-2 mark by the end. This is not a time for your guys to let up and look at those records moving forward.
It's not, and you look at the Marauders. They're a young football team. You know, they took a step back. They lost their quarterback at the start of the year. As anybody knows, you lose your starting quarterback, your team's going to take a step back. They're playing a young guy in offense right now, but in all 3 phases, this football team is maybe as complex and tough to scheme against as anybody we're going to face. They do a lot of different things in special teams. They're going to fake punts, fake onside kicks. They're going to fake field goals. It's a lot to prepare for, so it'll be a good road test for us.
All right, thank you very much. Head coach Kurt Weezy, his guys are on the road this Saturday afternoon to the University of Mary.